The wind blows, we would only hold on to let go. Focus, fire gun, we need someone to lean on. Focus, fire gun, all we need is somebody to.
In the months after Hurricane Harvey, plenty of folks have been recognized for their kindness and their courage during the storm.
But one Hitchcock teenager is standing out. He rescued more than a dozen people.
Smith, at just 13 years old, stayed calm, jumping into action to rescue friends, neighbors, strangers stuck in dark, rising waters. Smith, who can swim, grabbed the air mattress around 2 in the morning and for the next 4 hours walked back and forth, bringing babies, children, and adults to higher ground. Smith will now be awarded a Congressional Medal of Honor.
You are his father.
All right. You're my boy. This my boy.
Papa, tenme yani papa. Wap, tu fais ça. Hop, wap.
Yo, bro, let's go get some food, bro.
I would love to, but I ain't got no money. Money's tight this month.
Bro, I'll spar you. Don't worry about it.
I appreciate that, but my mom's already making food.
How about tomorrow, bro?
Tomorrow, I got a headache. I'm sorry.
How the fuck do you plan a headache ahead?
Now they wanna know me since I hit the top. Hey, this a rolling, not a stop. Watch shit don't never stop. This the flow that got the block hot. Shit got super hot. Hey, give me my respect.
5 price hacks you can use in Costco to save money. First, the price ends in 99, it's regular pricing, so no rush to buy it. Second, if it ends in a 97, it's on sale, so it could be worth buying. Third, if it ends in a 39, a 49 or a 79, it's a manufacturer's special, so check their website and compare prices. Fourth, if it has a star or a plus, it won't be restocked, so feel free to load up. Fifth, if the price ends in a 00, you've stumbled upon a manager's special. These hidden gems are so rare, I couldn't even spot one today.
If you want to impress your guests, make these crunchy gnocchi. This lazy snack is ready in 14 minutes. Toss the ingredients together, put it in the air fryer and boom, you're ready.
Anton, it's 5 p.m. You gotta go home.
No, I wanna work. I wanna work more. I wanna work more. Let me work! Let me work!
No sé. No sé. No me importa. No me importa. No quiero. No quiero. No entiendo. No entiendo. No me gusta. No me gusta. No me digas. No me digas. If you're learning Spanish, I have the perfect resource for you. Comment the word sí and I'll send it to you right now.
¡Hey! ¡Chamaco! ¡Hey! ¡Hey, huevón! ¡Vamos a pintar! ¡It's time, baby! ¡Ya!
Hello?
Hi, can I speak to Ray, please?
Yeah, this is Ray.
Hey, Ray, how are you? This is Jubal from Brook and Jubal in the Morning.
Who?
Jubal from Brook and Jubal in the Morning. It's a radio show.
Okay.
How's it going?
Fine.
Any idea why I'm calling you?
No.
We recently got an email about you from one of our listeners.
Okay.
Her name is Maggie, and you recently went out on a date with Maggie.
Okay.
Do you remember that happening?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Maggie emailed us because she's wondering why you haven't given her a call back, especially at the end of the date when you were like talking about maybe meeting up for dinner or something. She hasn't heard from you, so she asked if maybe we could get you on the phone to find out why.
Oh.
Is there a reason you're not calling Maggie back?
I mean, it's probably not going to work out.
Oh man, Ray.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't think we're a good match.
Is there a specific reason why you think that? Ray, you're a hard guy to read.
I agree.
So why don't
emotion at all?
Why don't you think you guys would be a good match?
I don't know. I mean, Maggie, she's a really nice girl. Probably one of the nicest girls I've met in a little while here, but she likes to do a lot of stuff.
What do you mean by that? Like drugs? she didn't.
No.
Yeah. What do you mean by she likes to do a lot of
No.
stuff?
Well, she just I don't know. We were talking about stuff, and she was saying all the things she likes to do. She likes to take cooking classes, and she rides a bike, and she, I don't know, always goes out with her friends, and
She sounds like a fun, interesting person by the things that you just said.
Those sound like normal interests to me.
You're right. She's totally interesting, normal person. I'm not very normal. Like, when she asks me what I like to do, I don't really like to do very much, and I don't hold it against her.
So you don't have any hobbies or interests?
I mean, I like watching TV, hanging around the house.
And maybe that's one of the things that she likes to do too. Did you talk to her about that?
Well, I think probably she does, but I don't know if I could keep up with all that other stuff.
You don't have to go biking with her or hiking or whatever she likes to do.
Go hang out with friends.
Yeah, I don't know. I could just tell. I think she deserves someone really amazing.
Do you just
and
have
I just don't know if I'm really up to snuff.
You just sound like you just have really bad self-esteem, buddy.
No, I mean it's not my fault that I'm like this. It's just it's probably the way I was raised. But I don't have a problem with it. I just don't think it maybe matches up with her lifestyle.
Okay.
But don't you think that's a decision she should make, not you for her? Because you don't know how she feels.
Well, she might even be okay with it now, but I know that in a little bit she's going to see what I see now, which is that, I mean, she's not going to like it. I mean, for instance, I don't want to be expected to do things.
Hey, Look, I am 100% with you on that, Ray. Whenever I'm in a relationship, it's the worst when you're expected to do things.
Like,
But you don't know if she's going to ask you to go bike. You can, both have your own separate lives.
We're just two totally different people. I mean, she's fun. She likes to do things, and I'm not. I'm just boring. So.
Well, maybe, have you thought about this? Maybe if you date her, you could learn to do some activities that you like?
See, that sounds like a lot of pressure right there.
All right. Well, Ray, if that's not enough pressure for you, here's some more pressure. She's actually on the other line listening to this conversation and wants to talk to you.
What?
Hello. Hi, Ray.
No emotion.
Matt, it really breaks my heart to hear you talk about yourself like that.
I don't feel bad about it. I'm just boring, and you're not boring. So you don't want to date me.
You're being really hard on yourself, Ray. Are you always like this?
I'm not trying to be a downer. I'm just being realistic. Just how things are. Being honest.
Well, I had a really great time with you a couple weeks ago, and talking to you now, you sound like a completely different person.
I mean, when you asked me what I like to do, didn't you notice that it took me 10 minutes to get back to you on that?
10 minutes?
You asked me what my interests were, and I realized I don't really do anything. I don't really have any interest. So, I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe I should look at that.
Are you saying that your date with Maggie changed your whole perspective on life?
I'm just looking at things a little differently now.
Wow. Maggie. What did you do to this guy?
I mean, Ray, you really don't think this about yourself.
I just think I need to take some time with myself and just, I think you're really sweet, and I think you are really on to something.
You're on to something. And Maggie, you keep doing what you're doing. You're on to something.
You're living your life.
Oh my God,
So,
poor
Ray, let me ask you this, Ray. I will pay for a second date if you guys go out again. Will you go out with Maggie one more time?
Oh.
Oh, my gosh.
Really likes you, Ray. She thinks you're interesting and fun and attractive.
I do, Ray. I like that you're really sweet and you're gentlemanly. I mean, you pulled my chair up for me at the restaurant. Guys don't do that. So I would love to see you again.
Oh, my gosh.
But in that list, you forgot boring.
Jeez.
Oh, my God.
Ray.
I like doing boring stuff, too. I like sitting around doing nothing. That's fun for me sometimes.
Now I feel like you're just saying that to impress me.
That's how you really impress a lot of people. Yeah, no, I'm super boring. Ray, is there any way we can get you to go out with Maggie again?
Come on.
I mean, you're paying for it?
Yes.
Come on, Ray. You're in a slump. You need this.
And you could be boring and she won't mind.
Fine, but don't expect much.
So is that a yes then? You'll go out with Maggie?
Yeah.
Yes!
Congratulations, Maggie. You got a second date.
I know.
So you are excited about this?
Well, yeah, I'm excited. It just sounds like he's in a mini slump. So I'm excited to help him get out of it.
All right, good. Well, you can be Ray's slump buster then.
I'm not in a slump. This is how I am. Please don't expect more.
Well, I'm excited to hear about how this whole date turns out with you guys.
Oh, me too.
Now you won't let go.
becomes a better one. I made a man so happy when I wrote a letter once. I hope my children come and visit once or twice a month. Soon I'll be 60 years old. Will I
Excuse me, ma'am. Do you think that this guy had a glow up or a glow down?
A glow up?
If you're right, you'll win $10,000.
Hell yeah.
Bring him in.
Oh,
Ruth?
Do you guys know each other?
Yeah, you could say that. I moved to New York 3 years ago. My parents just passed away and I wanted to be closer to Grandma. She was the only family I had left. I didn't know anyone in the city, so I hopped on Hinge and was captivated by a woman. She had the biggest, perkiest smile. We set a date, and as I approached the bar, I saw her picking her nose. I've always been cautious of gold diggers. You see, my name is Peter. Peter Pringles. My late grandfather was the founder of Pringles. After he passed, my parents ran the business but were ruthlessly taken out by the Lay's family crime syndicate. When my grandmother died, I'd owned the business. After dating Ruth for 3 months, the Lay's gang got to my grandma and had her whacked. After the funeral, Ruth revealed she hadn't been honest with me. Her real name was Honey Barbecue. She swore she didn't know I was a Pringle when we met and that her love was true. She said I should sell the business to her family to keep me safe, but after the sale, the check bounced. She stole my family, my empire, and my heart.
So yeah, you could say we know each other.
You wiped out his whole family?
there's a saying in our line of work. There's no use crying over crushed chips.
Before you go, Peter hasn't been completely honest with you either.
I never told you about my brother, Max Pringle.
No!
And we just caught you on camera admitting to murder.
We got cameras there.
And there.
And there. Get 'em, boys.
I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids.
That's what they always say.
See you never, Honey Barbecue.
If that's even your real name.
Hi, ma'am. What can I get started for you?
Hi. ¿Me das una Heidi Waity?
Heidi?
Heidi Waity.
What's a Heidi Whitey?
Hi. ¿Cómo se llama, nene?
Una Heidi Whitey?
Una Heidi Waity. Una pizza.
Oh, Honey Whitey?
Yes.
Oh.
Ricky Tan, get up, dog. Let's go. Come on. I've been looking for you everywhere. Let's go.
I'm busy at the moment.
Ricky, did you hear what I just said? I'm busy too now. Get on your feet. Get up. Get on your feet.
Hi, this is Scott. You want Starbucks? Can I help you?
I just had a question about your instant coffee.
Yeah, what can I help you with?
What flavors you guys got right now?
Our current one that we have that's like a global favorite is our Ethiopia. Was there a specific type of roast you were looking for?
Not really. Just like basic.
Alright, our most popular medium roast is our Pike Place roast.
Do you have those instant ones?
No. Oh, like we have like our packages.
I think that would work, honestly.
Do you want to roast one with me? Sir?
Yeah, ma'am. I think that would work.
Sir.
Hello?
Sir?
Ma'am, you there?
I'm right in front of you.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I think the instant should work, because I just don't have a coffee machine. I just had the Keurig, so.
Sir? Hello?
Ma'am, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, could I just, I'll probably just grab one of like the regular blends.
So our Pike Place?
Yeah, do you recommend that one?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be our medium roast.
That's so perfect. Yeah, I'll just grab one of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Alrighty, have a good one.
The woman merely shook the dust from her rag, but the man mistook it for a wave. So he took off his hat and responded with excitement. His hearty laugh made the woman's heart skip a beat. She didn't feel like poking her head out until the man was gone. But being a maid in a rich man's house was a nightmare for love. But the next day she shook the rag again. And this time, the man still responded with the same enthusiasm. This warmed Anne's heart. On the third day, it was raining heavily and she thought the man wouldn't pass by. But then the man appeared. But there was no sign of him at the window. He left in despair. On the fourth day, Annie stood at the window for a long time, but she didn't see the smile. She thought she'd never see him again. But on the fifth day, the doorbell rang. Annie answered the door as she always did. It was the same man who knocked on the door. The man's name was Mark. Annie wanted to explain that it was a coincidence, but she hesitated. Then Mark invited Annie to a film tonight, but Annie had work to do and couldn't get off until 7. So they arranged to meet in front of the cinema at 8 o'clock. It was the first time she'd ever received flowers, and she was so happy. Soon they arrived at the venue. Mark took the initiative and bought 2 tickets, acting like a gentleman. But as the film began, he slowly put his hand on Annie's shoulder. I guess a lot of people's love begins with a film. Soon it was the 6th day. Annie asked Mark to go somewhere with her. She even fixed his tie for him, so she was taking him to meet her parents. And Mark wasn't shy, and so the day passed without a hitch. But what he didn't realize was that when Annie asked to go to Mark's house, she was refused. He refused because he was too poor, and the streets were dirty. Annie didn't take it personally and made a bold decision. The next day she resigned. She was going to marry Mark. The noblewoman had a disdain for love, but when she saw Anne and Mark in love, the word jealousy was written all over her face. Then they went to a new neighborhood. The house they had bought in installments over 30 years was their wedding home. But after seeing it, they realized it was worth it. The house is very spacious with huge floor-to-ceiling windows. In the bathroom, there was a bathtub and a toilet with a manual flush. But in Annie's mind, she had already planned a children's room, and there was a garden at the back of the house. The two of them hugged happily and looked forward to a better life. By the 8th day, they were ready to get married. For the rest of the day, Mark worked hard outside and kept the house in good order. They lived a quiet and sweet life. But one day, Annie suddenly broke down and cried. Mark rushed over to comfort her. It turned out that they hadn't been able to have a child in the 2 years they'd been married. Annie was already 37 years old. She was afraid that she would never be able to get pregnant again, so she was in great pain. So Mark bought the big mirror that his wife wanted to surprise her. But what he didn't expect was, Annie had a surprise for Mark too. It turned out that Annie was pregnant. Mark jumped up and down with joy at the sudden news. They hugged each other tightly. Soon it was Annie's birthday. Mark prepared a card and flowers for her. By this time, Annie was pregnant. A few months later, the baby was born. The two of them were discussing what to name the new baby, but the doctor interrupted them and asked Mark to step outside. The doctor said Mark's wife was 37 years old. It would be better not to have any more children. Annie would be in danger of having a baby at an advanced age. It took a moment for Mark to realize he was lucky to have a wife. After that, his husband would take care of the children. Annie washed the nappies and put them in the washing machine. And so, 3 years later, the baby had grown into a little boy. He was so cute with his naturally curly blonde hair. Next to them was a new coffee shop. Looking at the high-class decor, the prices must have been high. Mark promised to take her there next time, so the family went home happily. But what Mark didn't expect was to find Annie crying on the sofa. It turned out that their child was about to go to school. However, the school was required to shave the boy's head flat. The rest of the family was very happy. In their spare time, they would often take their children to the beach for holidays. The family thought they would be happy forever. But on this day, Mark stood in front of the radio with a heavy face. The atmosphere of the whole city seemed to be particularly heavy. It turned out that the invaders had begun to build up troops around them and perhaps a war was about to break out. To be on the safe side, Mark boarded up the windows of his house and filled the gaps with glue. Then the family put on gas masks. It was the only way they could feel safe. But it wasn't long before the air raid sirens started blaring and the war began. The family hugged each other nervously. But that day, the government announced it would evacuate millions of children from the city, even though Anne was reluctant to leave. But for safety reasons, they finally put the children on the train. And Annie, as a mother, was forced to part with her 5-year-old. How much pain must have been in her heart. Back home, Mark built a shelter in the backyard. The next day, Mark was assigned to the fire service. He was in the middle of a smoky, dangerous city, and Annie joined the backup team. Every day was scary for them. The only consolation was a letter from their son. But the turmoil has left the family in shambles. Even the fence in front of the house is being taken down and turned into shells. To make Annie feel better, Mark said he'd build a wooden fence tomorrow. But the war was brutal. One dark night, their house was not spared. So they thought they'd take the time to fix up the house and see the boy they hadn't seen in a long time. The boy had already adjusted to life in the country. When they met, the family smiled for the first time. They also dreamed of having a cottage here. But the house in the city still had a mortgage of over 20 years. When he came back to the city, Mark immediately built a metal cage. When he got inside, it was just the right size. It turned out to be a new bed for them to sleep in at night. But then the air raid sirens went off. Mark blew out the candles, and despite his own fears, he held his wife tightly in his arms. Luckily, the cage was strong enough to keep them safe. It's almost Christmas Day. People were finally reunited with their children. There was singing and dancing and smiles on everyone's faces. But one of Mark's colleagues couldn't be happier. The night before, a bomb had silently taken his son. Mark apologized. I don't know how long it took, but as the sun rose, the war was over. The family resumed their quiet life. But that day, a police car pulled up in front of the house. The boy had been caught stealing. Luckily, the police only gave him a verbal warning. Annie couldn't believe her son was stealing. She gave him a hard time, though their lives were seldom easy along the way. But in the 10 years since the war, the bond between them has not diminished. In his spare time, Mark would always take Annie to enjoy their time together. But late at night, they worried about the future of their children. The boy had gone to university. He had long hair and there was even a girl waiting for him at the door. The two of them watched, but in their hearts, they thought they'd meet the girl's parents if they had the chance. But then a letter came along that threw all their plans out of whack. The boy was about to be drafted into the Royal Regiment. They were sad to see him go, but they were proud. So for the rest of their lives, they went to the newly installed telephone and waited for their son to call. They waited for 3 years. The years had turned them gray at the temples, and Mark always had a surprise for Annie. He'd secretly bought a car, so they went for a drive in the countryside. And to top it all off, they got a letter from their son. It said he was coming home from the army, but they couldn't have guessed that there was a girl with him. Though she was slim, Annie didn't seem to like it. But Annie's desire to have a grandchild overcame that dissatisfaction. So one day Annie asked her son what they were going to do about having children. But the son said they couldn't have children because her wife was schizophrenic. But bad luck didn't stop there. One day they were watching TV. But then, out of the blue, Annie asked her husband who he was. Annie was sick. Mark took her to the hospital for treatment. It turned out to be Alzheimer's. As Annie talked to her son, she couldn't remember what day Christmas was. Looking at Annie's condition, Mark turned away and left the hospital room, wiping away her tears. In order to refresh Annie's memory, Mark took her to the place where they first met. The cafe was in a state of disrepair until now, and had never been able to sit in it. Mark wanted to take his wife out more often, but that night, the hospital called out of the blue. When the call was over, it was as if Mark had used all his strength to put the phone down. His wife, who had been with him all his life, was gone. Father and son were in pain. In the days that followed, Mark was alone in the big room. He always had 2 sets of cutlery for dinner, perhaps in his mind, and had never really left. And the one left behind was the one who suffered the most when one of them left first. That day, Mark was reading the newspaper when he felt a sharp pain in his body. But there was only one black cat in the house to look at him. It wasn't long before Mark followed Annie, and they ended their lives happily ever after. Annie was actually 5 years older than Mark, but Mark always treated her like a child. He always had surprises in store for her. When Annie was sad, Mark would give her a hug, and Annie took good care of the family. She never minded Mark's low income. They were together all their lives. They've been through a lot of hard times and hardships with each other. That's the best thing about marriage. Whether you're poor or rich, whether you're old or sick or dead, I'll always love you.
Vamos si estuvieras hecha justo a mi medida y yo no lo pedí, solito me llegó y vale el doble así, un regalo de Dios destinado para mí. Voy a ser el encargado de cuidarte siempre, que nada te falte, mi única misión será hacerte muy feliz. En las buenas y en las malas estaré contigo, para lo que
lo que soñé tener en mi vida. Tu cuerpo me debilita. Cuando subes fotitos al Insta, siempre te mando corazones, pa' que sepas que tú me fascinas. Tú me enamoraste, no hay nadie como tú. Solo con verte mi corazón se enamoró. No sé qué pasó, me traes bien loco. Linda mujer, tú eres hermosa. Linda mujer, te quiero a solas. Junto los dos pasar las horas. Cada día me enamoro más.
If you want to add some flavor to your high-protein meal prep, try out these wet jerk chicken thighs. To a blender cup, we're going to add soy sauce, lime juice, pineapple juice, a bunch of spices and brown sugar, garlic cloves, and a Scotch bonnet. Be very careful. And blend that up. Then we're going to take chicken thighs and remove some of the fat, score the chicken, and then submerge in the marinade. Let it marinate for about 30 minutes, and in the air fryer they go. Air fry for about 10 to 12 minutes. So flavorful and juicy. Enjoy.